Hi, my name is Sam Schmidt and I'm with Alpine Physical Therapy. Today I'm going to talk to you about the proper setup for your body for your workspace. Today we're going to look at sitting and standing workstations. We are going to make sure that your body is at the optimal position to reduce load and stress at your workstation. It's essential to have a cushioned mat underneath you to decrease the load that your body supports all day. When we're looking at standing, we want our feet about hip width apart. We want the weight not too far forward on our toes and not too far forward on our heels, but distributed equally. So now that you've found your weight not too far forward and not too far back, and it's balanced between the heels and the toes, we want to make sure that the knees are not locked out and not bent. We want to make sure that our knees are in that soft position. If they're hyperextended, we get too much load in our low back and our trunk goes forward. If they're bent too much, we collapse through the spine. With the pelvis and the hips, if it's too far out, again, it sends our trunk forward and puts stress in the low back. If it's too far forward, it puts us back into our low back, compressing the low back and making the neck have to reach towards the computer. When we look at the shoulders, we want the shoulders to be up an inch, back an inch, and then relax down the back body. Again, we don't want the head to be too far forward, so we bring the head back over the shoulders, and that will actually allow the shoulders to be where they need to be for optimal position and decrease stress. If we go too far forward, we see a low back stress and the collapse of the shoulders. So again, bringing that everything into alignment, so we go ears, shoulders, the hips and the pelvis, the knees, and the feet are all in that plumb line. When we look at our hands, we want the keyboard so that that creates a natural 90-degree angle at our elbows. The screen of the computer should be at the first 1/3 of your screen to match your eye height. So now let's go ahead and look at the proper setup for the body in a sitting position at your workstation. When we look at a seated position at your workstation, we want your feet completely supported on the ground. We want your knees slightly below your hips. Your elbows should be resting on the armrests without having to reach down towards them or feeling like they're being pushed up towards your ears. Your back should be able to rest against the backrest. And your head should be over your shoulders. When you bring your keyboard towards you, your elbows should still be able to lightly rest on the armrests as you work on your keyboard or with your mouse. If you get your upper body set up with your workstation and your feet do not touch the ground, then you can simply use a common footrest to support your feet and bring the ground up to your feet to support the rest of your body. When we look at the screen height, again, we want the top third of the screen to be equal with your eyes. We also want to encourage the screen to be at a distance where you're not having to lean forward and perch, if you will, on the end of your chair. We also want to make sure that you aren't reaching back to the backrest, kind of creating a slump and creating the collapse of the spine. So finding that happy medium does require you to look at where your screen is, where your keyboard is, and even items that you might be reaching for throughout the day, like the phone.